Hello, this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead. I'm going to do a pumpkin chutney today, but I'm going to use some of the medlars up. Chutneys, basically apples are in chutneys, and as they taste very much like an apple sauce or stewed apple with a slight bit hint of toffee to it, I thought I'll use them in the chutney. So I haven't showed you the pumpkin because I think everyone knows what a pumpkin looks like. I've chopped it up. I made this a few years ago but with apples rather than medlars, and the pumpkin pieces I cut to about inch, 3/4 of an inch square, and I thought that was too big. After it had all done and it was jarred up and everything, I thought it was too big. Didn't really take on the taste of everything else. So I've cut it smaller this time. They're centimetre square, 1/4 of an inch, that sort of thing, because it does break down. But it's a lot for a breakdown an inch if you do an inch cube. But I'll show you them medlars now. I'll come back to that lot in a minute and see if I can get some more pulp out. But I'll take you over to the stove now. I've got the pumpkin in here. It weighed coming up to 2 kilos before I chopped it up and everything. So that's gone in. It's supposed to have fresh tomatoes and that. No, I haven't got any. So there goes some of my hand-canned tomatoes. It's getting everywhere, this metal stuff is. This is what I've got off it so far. I'm going to start the chutney off and see if I can get some more. But I'll do a couple of small onions chopped. About 125 grams of raisins. The same amount in sugar. You will probably need to add more because it's a bit on the not sweet side. But just over half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm putting in allspice teaspoon and coriander teaspoon and 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm putting in a combination of 2. The white distilled vinegar I get, I'm putting in about 350 mils. And then the apple cider vinegar I make about the same. And because it's not going to really be apple chunks, because I'm using the medlars, got some of me dehydrated apples here. And I'm just going to break a few in, so there's going to be a few appley chunks. They won't be very big chunks because they weren't very big, dehydrated. And then bring it to a boil and let it simmer for a few hours. It doesn't actually appear that much there, but it's very watery. So I'll see you in a few hours. This has had a total of now roughly around about 3 hours. I tasted it after a couple of hours and it needed a touch more sugar, but not much at all. One thing you can tell when a chutney's done is when you part it, there is no liquid there. It's all nice and mushed up. There is still moisture to it, but no actual runny liquid. You don't want vinegar in it. So it's now ready to jar up. So that's my time of saying the jars are done. So now it's just a matter of jarring up. My jars have been in the oven sterilising. So now I'm just going to put them in here. This funnel doesn't really fit in these jars, but it's close enough. Whoops. Apart from when you accidentally moved over the side. Put it there. See, as in normal canning. Let's overfill that one. Put in there. Because this is the old-fashioned English way of doing it, if you like. There's no water bath canning or anything. But obviously you want a good seal. Ow, ow, it's hot. Helps if you've got asbestos hands, which I haven't got at times. Because you have to be careful when you're stirring the chutney. I stirred it earlier and some of it came out on my hand. Oh, and it's just like lava. My lids are also sterilised. So I'll put them on, but I want my little thing and I haven't got my little thing. It's in the washing machine. Let's remove this so it's easier for me to grab just one. And that's it. These will be fine on your shelves for about a year. No, 6 months In the fridge they will obviously last longer than that. You want to make sure that you've not got anything where it shouldn't be. And that's another one. And I'll finish these off and show you in a minute. There we are. These aren't actually half-pint jars. So although, had they been half-pint jars, I would have had enough, but I hadn't. So these 6 jars have been completely sterilised, so they'll be going on my shelves once they've cooled down. This jar, which is still hot, is going to go in the refrigerator, and we'll be using that up within the next couple of weeks. This is full. I'm going to possibly put it in the freezer and freeze it up so that when all this is gone, I'll just pull that out and jar it up and we'll have chutney. So yeah, it would have made more, but these aren't full half-pint jars. But that's still 6 jars on the shelves, 1 jar in the fridge to eat, and 2 to 3 jars that will go in the freezer for next year for me jarring up. So as you can see, this is how I use canning the old-fashioned English way, such as this, or water bath canning, or pressure canning. I also use my freezer, dehydrate things, because I've got preserved foods in here as well, such as me apples and the tomatoes, and I've tasted it and it's lovely. So it's a lot of work and effort, but I might do it again. We'll see. See when I get next year's harvest. Thank you. Bye.
It's a perfect situation. It's when the bad news bears for me a bag of temptation.